Hello there, Sir from 17 once again, bringing you Mission 5 in my 007 Bloodstone 007 difficulty video walkthrough. And this is the final mission of the game, and it's in Burma, the place made famous by the lovely Rambo film. And after you've woken up, chained to a toilet, could have been the victim of a date rape, you'll notice you have no weapons whatsoever. So if you kill that first guy, you will get a pistol. And then as you progress through this section, you'll also come up against this dude who you have to take out. And then from now on, it's pretty much balls to the walls, action, gunfights, and some pretty crazy environments. And the one coming up, once you get your smartphone back and all that kind of shit, is a pretty challenging area because there's about 20 guys and there's also an armoured vehicle. So if you watch what I do, it's easily the best way to approach the scenario. And in the meantime, we're going to play another game that I've been doing in the last video entitled Over Analyzing Total Recall. So I hope you enjoy it. If you don't, please leave a comment and I'll try to stay more on topic. But this film is fucking great and I'm just spotting so many things. And the first one that I want to mention is that they're in space, they're on Mars, they've colonised Mars, it's all high technology. And it's just kind of funny seeing this awesome looking, fashionista future vision of a bedroom. And then over on the wall there's a crappy CRT television showing like fucking Mars news or something, which is pretty damn funny if you ask me. The second thing I've noticed as well in my time with Total Recall once again is the part of the cover for the main character's delusion is kind of like a family life on Earth, and the woman who's a secret agent who's playing his wife, which is Sharon Stone's character, she's secretly pretending to be his wife because she's the agent that's kind of babysitting him so that he doesn't do anything and he doesn't go back to Mars. All the meantime, she's like in a relationship with the head security guy of the bad guy's company. And it's like, dude, if you were in a relationship with Sharon Stone, who's looking, pretty mighty fine, this is the late 80s, early 90s, she's looking pretty badass. It's like, why the fuck would you have let her go and be Arnold Schwarzenegger's fuck doll? It just makes no sense. It's like, if you really love this woman, why would you want every orifice getting destroyed by the Austrian death machine? Because I know I wouldn't. I mean, Arnie's arm's big enough, I don't even want to know what other parts of his body are like. And the dude's about as fucking sexually motivated as any person you'll ever meet. This is a dude who was famously quoted while, I think his PR or his publicist walked in on him going down on a girl who wasn't, get this, his fucking wife. And the dude, still with his face wet from, some savage cunnilingus, props his chin on this girl's thigh he was going down on and says, "What? Eating's not cheating," in his fucking Austrian accent. And it's like, dude, seriously, this guy's a monster. So you just wouldn't do it. And Michael Ironside's probably regretting it now because Sharon Stone has a bullet in her head. But yeah, it's some fucking crazy stuff. And like the glass that is in the dome that effectively stops, oxygen from leaking out and keeps these like placements sealed so that they can, be an establishment for people to live on this planet. Well, why would they be pierceable with a pistol round? I don't understand this. It's like this high technology. You would think that all the technology would be going into, stopping the fucking glass from being able to crack by something as silly as a firearm, when every single person on this damn rock has firearms, so everyone is potentially a destroyer of worlds, which seems kind of sketchy to me. But the last point I'm going to make until something else props up is the pistols and the weapons. Any sci-fi or futuristic film that was made in the 80s, early 90s, the excuse to make any gun look futuristic was to give it as many fucking useless attachments as possible. And it's hilarious. The best film that showcases this little fucking crux of, action movies from that era is Predator 2. They put lights, red dots, rails, all sorts of fucking nonsense on normal pistols just to say it's the quote-unquote future. And I really like it because it's just so fucking dumb, but it works. Oh, and another quick tip for anybody that's, observant enough to notice. Pretty much every MP5 I've seen so far on this film has been using the shortened 15 round magazine as opposed to the 30 round magazine in Call of Duty 4, which seems kind of strange because it makes it look like an MP5K, and that one that guy's using is an MP5K, so yeah, they've got quite the arsenal. But the moral of Total Recall is never trust a guy who has 5 kids. And if you get that reference, you're a boss. But now that you've cleared out this section and you've got your trusty UMP again, we're going to do a little bit of traversing through caves, and these next few sections is going to be you taking on a whole bunch of commandos and a couple of armoured cars. And the first few armoured cars you come across, you can't do a damn thing. You can't really kill them, you can't do anything. And you just have to keep evading, you just have to keep pushing forward, killing dudes, and then eventually you're going to get to a cache that's full of grenade launchers, which will enable you to finish off the last APC that's in your way. And it takes a while to get there, so just bear that in mind. But as soon as you hit this checkpoint, you'll notice I'm up against the corner, I'm scouting ahead to see what's coming up, and there's a bunch of armoured dudes, which I'm pistoling. And I would definitely say use your pistol before you use your assault rifle, because there is nothing worse than running out of your primary weapon, forcing yourself down to your pistol, and then running out of your pistol. This way, if you use your pistol first, when you run out of it, you know all you've got left is that primary weapon, so you can then actively hunt out more ammunition or a better gun. And that is a mentality that I would definitely say get into. But this level is long as fuck, and there is 2 chopper encounters which are both fluent bullshit, so if you like your gaming nice and frustrating, you're going to have fun here. The main thing to point out on this encounter is that APC will fuck you up. That APC is Rohypnol and a black dude with a 9-inch dick. You just do not want anything to do with it. The best thing to do is if you push towards these steps like I just did then and you stand there, you'll recover your life, but do not stay up top of here. It can shoot you through this cover. I don't know why, it doesn't always happen, but it killed me twice when I was in cover, so be very careful. As soon as you hit this corner, you're safe from the APC, the checkpoint hits, and you'll see the shotgun guy cruising forward and his buddy there. You'll also notice that these dudes are a lot more armoured than the people you've been fighting, and that just signifies that you're going to have a harder time taking them out. So swap out any guns if you need any ammo and just keep pushing around these corners. Take your time, be patient. And as soon as you hit there, that's an APC. You want nothing to do with it. As soon as it loses where you are, use the cover, hop between cover, and just pray to God you don't get shot, because the checkpoint isn't far away. It's just annoying, watching the fucking bloody screen reloading and all that nonsense. And I do believe that is the next mechanic that needs to go from games. I'm not saying take away difficulty, I'm not saying take away death, I'm saying optimise your games so that we're not punished for losing, for failing, by having to sit and wait through a bullshit screen. It needs to be streamlined. Difficulty is intended to push gamers, and it's intended to make it a challenge, to make it fun, to make it something you have to overcome. And overcoming a load screen is just sheer patience, and it's something that you shouldn't have to put up with. But that's just my bag of dreams for future gaming, and hopefully it'll become a reality. But keep peppering these guys. I think there is an explosive over there, a barrel, but for some reason I just wasn't having any luck hitting it. And as you push through here, there's another opportunity to go up onto some high ground, and I do believe that's a grenade launch, that's a scar. This is where you get to kill the armoured gun, but not just yet, so don't get too excited. When you drop down here, this is a clusterfuck of enemies really close, so get in cover and then spray this guy. If you don't, he's going to shove a shotgun up your ass, and you do not want that. We all saw Crank 2. It doesn't end well. But pepper these guys from cover. There's about 2 or 3 of them, and as you push forward, you'll notice there's an APC around this corner and a guy. So I kind of recklessly get lucky and I rush into this piece of cover. I wait for him to come so I can pepper him, pick him up, kill his buddy who's got the shotgun, who's all armoured to tits, and then his other guys coming down these stairs. Once I've killed those, I now know that all is left is the APC, and if you run up here, that is a shit ton of grenade launchers. The only problem, the corner trick doesn't quite work with the grenade launcher, so to save you from killing yourself, always make sure you strafe out of cover and fire, but do not take too long or the APC will kill you. And I'm talking like thunder. It will fuck you up. Always kind of made me laugh as well that the reactor in Total Recall is activated by doing the fucking mind meld Spock hand thing. Although it does kind of look a little bit like a Yoda hand. So maybe they were evolved Spock Yodas, something like that. No idea. Anyhow, once you've killed the APC, if you run across here, it will hit a checkpoint. You'll also hit a cutscene, and after the cutscene, it's going to throw us into the next part of the level. So once you've jumped off the plane, you will see effectively what I'm seeing now. And this is the second part to maybe 3 parts of Burma. They're all in one video though, for your convenience. Unfortunately, it is a 32-minute long video, and the last video is the boss, so don't worry about that. But as you make your way up here, you want to be using the corner trick as best as possible. There's a lot of concrete pillars. They're designed to help you stay alive. And this next section is fucking awful, I'm not gonna lie. So make sure you've got as much ammo as possible, and make sure you're ready to see this checkpoint a couple times till you get it right. But as you push up here, a couple guys will spawn. You'll see that shotgun guy there. Kill him as quickly as possible or he's going to end your day. Then to his right, there's one dude. There he is. Clean him up. And then I think it's clear until you walk through that cargo crate that shotgun guy came out of. So this is your opportunity right now to get some ammo. There's your checkpoint. This is where you'll be seeing it from. And just get ready to do some work, because this corner there's going to be a shit ton of guys. There's going to be a couple more future spawns as you push on, and there's also going to be a helicopter when you push to the far side of this section. And the first thing to note, I have not found a convincing way to kill the helicopter with a gun. I don't think it's physically possible, purely because you have to use the crane. So I wouldn't even bother shooting him. The only reason I shoot him is because it distracts his turret and it gives you a chance to run. And what you're going to see here is you're going to see me push a checkpoint, get killed, and then spawn away from where I was. So when the video jumps, if you wonder why, it's purely because I hit a checkpoint, and when I died, I couldn't link the video well enough, so there's a little bit of a jump. But if you do what I do, and you rush it quick enough, you will be able to do the exact same, and this chopper guy won't be such a dickhead for you. Because he has a lot of ammo, he shoots really fast, he kills you really fast too, and he doesn't go away, and the gaps between his firing patterns are just a pain in the arse. And the general premise is, get to cover, wait for him to shoot, then push to the next piece of cover, and keep doing that until you can get to the crane. But you'll notice it isn't that simple, because he fires really fast, and he just seems to always be lighting you up. So you'll notice that there's the jump, there's where I hit the checkpoint, and right now the best thing to do is just bomb it if you can. And there's one section coming up where, do you see that building that I have to run towards now? If you stay in the middle of that, he will shoot through it because it isn't cover. Never stay there, you're not safe. But as soon as you come through here, get your back up against the concrete, stay as low as you can. I mean, look at that, the dude's lighting me up and I'm nowhere near him. Wait for your life to regenerate, start climbing. And this crane stuff is fucking garbage, because once you get up to the crane, you've got to get to the controls and you've got to swing the crane into him before he kills you, and he will kill you really quick. And I think the best way to do it is to push both the analogues up. I think that's how you do it, I think that's how I did it, and it kills him every time. But you press that button, that's going to lower the platform so you can actually get to the crane. I mean, look at that, those bullets are hitting the back of Daniel Craig's head. It's like, what the fuck is he made of? The dude's like that Colossus guy out of the X-Men comics who's got the steel arms and shit. But anyhow, you get up here, there's your checkpoint, run over to the button when he stops firing, push both your analogues upwards, and it should drop that shit on him, and that first helicopter's down. But if you didn't like that, you're going to hate the last boss, because it's pretty much that, but even worse. And there's one section to it that I didn't realise you could use cover, and I was trying to rush it, and fuck me, I must have died about 40 times. So hopefully my video is going to stop you from having those same complications, and you shouldn't, have too many troubles or too much problems, which I've just fucked up. too much trouble, too many problems. Jesus Christ, the English language just leaves you when you're trying to talk for a prolonged period of time. Goodness me. But move the crane to the right, run across this, and be careful, because as soon as you hop over to the third section of this area, you're going to get spawned on by those two dudes. You get a checkpoint, so if you die, it's not the end of the world, but you really do not want them to kill you. And this section here is where it starts getting a little bit more challenging, because they're going to have a lot of enemies in these rooms, and every enemy is going to be armored. Every enemy is going to have, the big guns. They're all going to be rocking the SCAR or the AK-47, things like that. So it's all about using your cover intelligently, picking your shots, and not rushing the checkpoints, because some of the spawns coming up are fucking ridiculous. There's some really, really big firefights. This is easily the longest section of the game. So, pick your fights wisely, and just be patient. You're coming to the end. You're going to overcome the challenge. But look at me fucking Mickey Mousing around these geezers. What's happening there? But I've got to this piece of concrete because I know right now there's only two ways that they can get to me, and this cover is wide, and it enables me to do the camera trick like a genius. So just keep peppering these guys. The luxury of this combat AR, which is probably either an ACR or a SCAR, is it's super powerful. It's like a one burst kill, and it works reliably from pretty much every distance. And I know a lot of the guns are very similar. The only really ones I have problems with are the fucking submachine guns and the pistol, which is just a pain in the ass, but I'll let them off. But the key to succeeding in this level is just not to push too quickly, because as you can see, I've run forward and that dude sat up from cover, and he has potentially, a game-ending gun. His 2 bullets, I'm dead. And all because I went too eager to push forward, so you just want to take it slow. You want to take my advice and just beast. Just keep, fucking James Bonding it up. And little update on the Total Recall situation. It's got to one of those sections where Arnie gets to pull a ridiculous face, and if you've never seen Arnie doing his fucking crazy face, it is a treat. It is some funny shit. But this is even better, because imagine these metal constraints that are holding both his arms. He pulls one out, bends the metal, and it's got this piece of spiky rebar at the bottom of it. This guy looks at him and he stabs it into his throat, and you see the fucking hole, man. Paul Verhoeven is a genius. Some of this stuff looks so great for his time. It's like people watch Saw and they get all queased out by that shit. It's like this dude's stabbing coat hangers through people's faces. It's just crazy. And it looks glorious as well. And I am by no means a psychopath or somebody that likes to, glamorize death or violence, but I do appreciate some theatrical, Arnie violence. It just has to be said. So you hit that checkpoint, and be careful on this corner, because when you turn this corner there's a shit ton of dudes, and they're all going to rush with their armoured bodies and their shotguns, and if you're sprinting around that corner thinking you're safe, you're going to get fucked up. You want to avoid it. So just pepper them. A couple more will spawn. The only real detriment here is you push up. If any more do spawn, you could be facing a checkpoint you really don't want to see again. What did I say? Look at that. I go to move forward, and there's another spawn. And that's the problem with this game. I cannot predict the spawns on it. It has some of the most unpredictable spawn patterns ever, and it's purely bad game development. It's bad game design. I mean, you look at Dead Space 2, wherever you see one of those doors, one of those vents, or something like that, that instantly tells you that that's a monster closet that could potentially be used to sick a necromorph on you. And every so often it works, every other time maybe it doesn't. And that is good level design, because it shows you a predictable spawn, it shows you a pattern that you can adhere to, and you can learn, and you can overcome. And then you've got this fucking game where it's just like, we don't care, fuck you, we want you to die, there you go. But anyhow, once again we're coming up to another challenging section. After you've shot those dudes in the elevator, it will cut through a cutscene of him getting in the elevator, and it'll jump straight to this bit. And this bit is the last, the last lengths of the game. And the challenging. So this is a massive firefight across a big canyon, because imagine two two fortress fronts, a big bridge connecting them. That's effectively what this is. To my right is a giant bridge that needs to be lowered, and on the other side is an area that's almost identical to this one in its setup. It's kind of like a little fortification full of enemies. And this very first push can be challenging because it's kind of dark. You'll notice that I'm not having that they're black. The fucking scenery's black. I can't see shit but black. And it brings me back to an argument I was having earlier with a friend on Black Ops. We were playing some demolition on grid. And the big thing that really fucks me off about grid is the same thing that fucks me off about sub-base. And that is, one team is white and the other team is blue/black. Obviously on sub-base it was a lot worse. But what part of white people in a white fucking level is ever going to be fair? As opposed to the dudes running around with cyan blue. It's just bullshit. And it's so much easier to see them. It's just horrifically bad balancing, I think. But anyhow, be careful when you push forward here. You notice I really do not want to go forward at all. The reason for that is the last time I pushed forward I got killed by one arsehole and I had to do this entire shootout again. So the best way to move forward is to go through this building and use its cover. If you can effectively do that, you will beat this side of this encounter, and then you'll just lower the bridge and you'll have to fight the dudes on the other side. It isn't the most challenging thing you'll ever do in gaming, but it can go wrong in 2 bullets, and you always have to have that in the back of your mind, because 2 bullets is not much when these guns fire this fast and the AI is this accurate. So patience, do your thing, and just know that it is doable. You shouldn't have too many problems, too much trouble with it. But just, use cover, play intelligently, kick some ass. And there is a lot of big ass runs coming like this, full of enemies, full of, awkward cover, awkward advantageous positions, and just not cool stuff. But luckily enough, this is the end, and this is one of those levels where it's not that bad up until the end, and then it goes from like fucking 0 to 60 of a shitstorm, and it's just awful. I really don't like the end of this level at all. But once you've killed all these dudes, I got super lucky then by that guy. He could have easily killed me with 1 bullet, 'cause I think he had a sniper rifle. I just looked at. But you press that button, it's going to lower the bridge, and as soon as the bridge goes down, this spawn's going to happen. So you'll notice I run all the way over to this section, and the reason I do this is because if you move down these stairs ever so slightly, like I'm trying to do now, you can actually do the corner trick on this bottom section, and you are effectively as far away from the gunfight as possible using the trick and taking these guys down. And this was one of the better spots I chose to do this gunfight, because when that bridge does finish lowering, the enemies are going to come rushing across it, and you have the perfect vantage to just pop them off as they do so. And just be careful of those balcony guys, because as you can see from the bullet ripples, they are firing some pretty mean shit. But just pick your shots, kill dudes, and be warned, when you push across the bridge, it is going to force a spawn, so you might have 1 or 2 enemies that could potentially, end the run. Not too sure where the next checkpoint is, but never rely on the checkpoints to back you up, because it's like anything else, you'll end up getting fucked. So here he comes across the bridge, clean him up with a bit of, there you go, some tight fire on him. Slam a fresh magazine in, and the luxury of this combat AR is it holds a lot of bullets for how quick it kills, which is really awesome. Really, really awesome. I like it. I'm a fan. And that is something pretty interesting. Watching Total Recall on a 42-inch Panasonic TV, with like some of the finest picture quality money can buy. It's also the high definition version, where it's been, I don't think it's really been high resed, but it's high def, because you can tell with the grain on the screen, and it really doesn't do some films any favours. You can see the matte canvases, you can see that Arnie's walking up to a set wall, even though it's been intricately painted into looking like it goes somewhere. But it just goes to show how much films have advanced with technology, and if anything, these days, the digital stuff that's replacing, this handcrafted stuff is nowhere near as as timeless, because one thing I've learned about computer effects is they do not age well. Unless you're putting the highest production value into something, or you've got something that, is timeless, you're going to have a lot of difficulty in 10 to 20 years showcasing that with the same credibility that it originally had. I mean, just look at something like Star Wars. The original Star Wars, trilogy, fantastic films. I love them to this day. I'm a big fan. They went back and used all that money putting all those effects in, and some of them were really, really cool, but some of the purists really, really didn't like them. You watch them now, having it been 10, 15 years, and the stuff they've put in looks fucking atrocious. It just draws your eye because it looks that bad. And then, contrary to this, you watch Jurassic Park, a film that was made in like 93, 94, and those dinosaurs look fucking great. It's like in 10 years those dinosaurs will still look great because they were a combination of really, really good effects and really, really good animatronics. And it's really rare to get that perfect relationship, that symbiosis between effects, practical effects and digital effects. And some films have achieved it well. Look at Terminator 2. Terminator 2, sure, there's a couple of shots that you kind of say, yeah, it's showing its age a little bit, but that film was made in like 1991. Fucking 91. It's 20 years ago, and the film still holds up. And then you look at stuff like, the last Transformers film, the first one, where they all look sludgy, and it just looks like a goddamn mess half the time. You don't know who's fighting who, you don't know what they're supposed to look like because they look so cluttered, and shit doesn't age well. It really doesn't. But as you push across this bridge, you want to be as careful as possible because there's that guy sitting there, and I should be using detective mode to tell me where the rest are. I see that dude, I use the barrel to clean him off. Oh no, I don't. I use the barrel, it doesn't work, and then I shoot him a little bit. But just be super careful because this is one of those moments that you don't want to ruin a good run by getting careless. And getting careless can be the difference between beating a level and, seeing a checkpoint 7 times. And for some reason, Norton is doing a fucking background task, which pisses me off. I wish he'd only do it when I ask, but then maybe I'd get raped by viruses and worms and shit. Because it makes my preview video monitor, it lags behind, so I can't really tell what's going off. And I'm not a fan of watching laggy shit. And I don't think anybody that was on filmon.com earlier is either, because that shit was bad. Really bad. But anyhow, there's your checkpoint. That's a tough section just beaten. And when you go in here, there's going to be a sequence of rooms, including an elevator that's taken directly from Streets of Rage. It isn't really, but... And it's pretty simple firefights coming up, pretty standard stuff. You shouldn't have that much trouble. But clear people up, use your cover trick, do your thing, and just know that you're 5 minutes away from beating the game. 5-10 minutes, depending on how lucky you get with the last boss. 'Cause he's a wanker. He's a big old wanker. But just pepper dudes, do your thing. James Bond it up. And I probably should be using this time to talk about future projects, but right now I'm not too understanding of what they're going to be. I know it's going to be another guide. I know it's going to hopefully be awesome and you guys are going to enjoy it, but I don't know what it's going to be. And the main problem is, for anybody wondering, I reiterate it on videos, but not everybody watches every video, so I tend to get like strange comments and fucking little remarks and stuff. But I only buy games that I know are going to be good. Like, for instance, Gears of War 3 is going to be a day one buy. The reason for it is I can't wait to play that fucking game. I honestly can't. Then on the flip side of that, Red Faction Armageddon, that is never going to be a day one purchase for me because the game got shit on in the reviews, so the campaign's probably not going to be that good. The multiplayer's probably fun, but I know for a guarantee I'm going to be the only dude with it, and I hate playing multiplayers on my own. So that to me is not, does not warrant a purchase, and thus I didn't buy it. That's why there isn't a guide. Everything else is out of my hands, guys, because it's all about renting. And if I can get, that I can get my stuff shown to a possible sponsor or somebody that can put some money behind my channel and help me grow, then that will change, because there is a local renting service that is very close to my house. It's like a 20-minute walk away. which I don't mind doing. I do it regular, and I can rent games for like 7 nights from there for a bit of money. It's not that expensive, but I can't really afford it at the moment. If I do get any kind of backing, for instance like a machinima contract, which would be fucking awesome, then I would guarantee lesser games guides really quickly. But at this moment in time, I'm trying to pay for a headset, and I'm just trying to do what I can at the speed that I can. So please be patient with me, and hopefully that'll be a reality soon, because I've just hit 443 subscribers. It's taken a while, and who knows, I might have one of those renaissance moments where my subs go up to 1,000 because people realise that I'm doing different things. I'm trying hard with the videos and so on so forth. Copy paste, and I'm not one of those wankers that just goes onto a big YouTuber's page and posts that generic message of I am XXX, I am a XXX commentator, all my subscribers tell me that I'm amazing, but I just do not get the coverage, I do not get the views, and blah blah X blah fucking X. At the end of the day, if you haven't got the balls or the talent to get anywhere in life on your own, what is the fucking point? You've got to earn it. You can't have it hand given to you, or you become a douchebag. You have to earn it, and hopefully 400 and odd videos deep, I'm earning it. We just need the payoff now. But the gunfight at the top of this is not too challenging whatsoever. Use your cover, be careful of the guy on the balcony, because he's the biggest threat here. The guys that are close will hurt, but they're not any immediate problems, because they don't completely flank you. See, he pushed out, I could have blind fired him, it wasn't an issue, but the guy on the balcony, he's going to rain down death on you if you're not careful. And then be careful as you push up here, because there's more enemies. I didn't see him, and it's a good job there's a checkpoint there, because I could have been fucking dying super quickly if I'd been any slower to take him out. And right now, if you go up against this concrete pillar, there's a guy there. There's also guys flanking to your left, so always switch your view. See him up on the stairs. I didn't see him then because my screen was really dark, but there's one guy there, and then there's one guy to the right, and then there's one guy behind those green boxes, and another guy's just spawned. So yeah, I'm a popular person right now, but it's James Bond, it comes with the territory. You see him behind the grain crates? What the fuck am I doing? Shoot the guy, Chris, come on. There you go. Another one bites the dust, but that's the end of the first section to the Burma level. The next video is going to be the boss fight and a couple of firefights before that. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's helped. Good luck with this boss fight. It's a pain in the ass. I'm going to fucking feel your pain with you. And you take care now.